does that even mean, Bauer's Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again for another episode of Bauer Spotlights, where we put a spotlight on a different Game Crafter game each month. And this month we're checking out Diced Tomatoes. And right now I'm here with my lovely wife, Melina.
Hello.
And we are about to play a two-player game of Diced Tomatoes. And I'm going to teach her the rules as I teach you the rules. So in this game, what you're trying to do is you're trying to score the most points by completing 6 different sets of tomatoes. And how you're going to complete a set is if you have a run of 4 or 4 of a kind on these little tomato slots right here. So I'll just go through what we're going to do on our turn, and you'll quickly get it. And I'll go first this time, even though normally we roll to see it. So this is the bushel right here, and you're going to pick 3 dice out of here. Generally, you're going to want to pick the red ones. The black dice are more like attack dice that will lower the score of your opponents. So unless you want to be a jerk, you stick with the reds for most of the time, even though sometimes when you're down, you need to use them. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to roll the 3 dice, and then you're going to decide how you want to allocate these dice. Now, how it works is you place it right in there. So having the 6 right here is really good. That means that when this scores, either from a 3, 4, 5, 6, or a 6, 6, 6, 6, 4 6s, it's going to score me 6 points, and this die would go right here to help me remember that I'm going to get 6 points. Now, the black die I talked a little bit about earlier, so let's say you decide to roll this black die like a jerk, and you get a 5, and you're able to just slide that 5 right there. Now this is worth -1 point. It's only worth 5 points instead of 6 points. And if you ever knock that number down to 0, this whole thing clears out, but that doesn't happen too often. So I really don't want a 3 or a 1. So the next thing I'll do is I will keep the 3. I think a 3 is okay. And then I'm going to put this 1 over here on you, because you can play dice on other people. Now, normally, that's something you probably wouldn't want to do. But what it can actually do is it can give you hearts. Because if you complete my set, so if you put the 4th one down, you can actually gain yourself some hearts. And these hearts, after you roll your die, which I didn't need to right there, you can use to do one of 2 things. You can spend 2 hearts to change the value of a die you rolled by 1, either bumping it up 1 or down 1. Or you can spend 3 hearts to clear the low-scoring tomato. So if you want to get rid of this 1, for instance, you could just spend 3 hearts to clear it. What you also could consider doing is you could consider rolling a black dice and hoping you get a 2 on it. Because if you get a 2 on it, that would put this number down to 0, which means, poof, it would automatically clear out. So you got some choices there.
Wait, how does the 2 put the 1 down to 0?
Because remember, the black dice actually make it -1. So if I were to put this as, so if I rolled this and it was a 5, and I put it right here, when this scores, it would be worth 5 points instead of 6 points. And when I do this to you, you can't go any lower than the 1. You'd go down to 0, which means you would score 0 points for it. And it would just wipe away.
Okay.
So now it's your turn. So you pick 3 dice out, and you rinse, wash, and repeat.
Okay.
Oh, those aren't here. That one is, but that one's not.
So it's my turn.
Yep.
3 dice.
So roll them up in the middle. Alright. So what would you like to do with those 3 dice?
I don't know.
I would probably suggest keeping the 5.
I'd say I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty confused right now. I don't have a clue what I'm doing.
And then you have the 1 and the 3. So if you, and here's the other thing.
So what happens if I give you the 1?
You just put it right there. Because you
Right.
can't put it anywhere else, because it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work here or here. But you could put it right there. And that would kind of shaft me a little bit, because then I would
What do
only
you
get
mean
1.
I can't put it here or here?
Because you have to put a number that's either touching. So you'd have to put a 2 or a 4 or a 3. Because right now that this is a 3, it's not committed to being 4 3s. It's not committing to being 2, 3, 4, 5. It's whatever's played next is going to dictate what it becomes.
Okay. So you're making a sequence.
Yes.
I get you. Okay. You said that. Okay, I gotcha.
So you can either give that to me, which doesn't really help you at all, or you can keep it for yourself. Now the other thing is, getting low numbers is not the end of the world, because the game will end when someone gets to 6 tomatoes. So if someone really focuses on just trying to get high numbers, they might not score enough, and the other person might get enough low points that they can win the game. Also, whoever the first person to get there scores 2 points. 2 bonus points.
Okay.
So I'll take 3 red dice, and I've got myself. Ooh, this sucks. I'll go 1, 5. You know what? I'm going to go 6. Then what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to spend 2 hearts to change the value of the die by 1, and I'll turn this 5 into a 6. So that's my turn.
So when you have 4 of them, that's when it scores?
Yes. And that's when you put whatever your scoring dice is right down here, and it goes out of the game.
Oh. Okay.
So this is 1 away from scoring. So if you did put the 6 there, which probably wouldn't be in your best interest, it would actually give you 3 hearts, which would bump you up all the way to 6 hearts, which means you could have a little bit more freedom to do what you wanted to do with your rolls. But you'd probably rather have that 6 for yourself if you could use it.
Okay, so the 3.
Oh, also you get 1 victory point at the end of the game for each 2 hearts you have. So not a huge chunk of points, but it could make the difference.
So I want to put my 6 here.
I can't see your hand.
Sorry.
You cannot do that.
Why?
You have to do it either 4 of the same number or in numerical order.
Oh.
What you could do if you wanted to spend 2
But
hearts...
I can spend 2 hearts and make that a 5.
You could. Another option you could do is you could leave the 6 there and then
Change this to a 4.
And then if you wanted to, you could even put that 3 down there and you could score the 5 points immediately.
I gotcha. Okay, now it's I don't know why it's taking so long for this to click, but it's clicking. Okay. So we're going to 6, 5.
Now there will be scenarios later on in the game where potentially you could use a die.
That makes more sense.
And when that happens, you actually have to pass me the die. Instead of rolling 3, I would get a roll 4 die. If you ever can't use a die. Which it does happen sometimes.
Okay, so the scores.
Yep, that goes on your 1 slot.
And so my 5 comes
Scored 5
here.
points for the end of the game. Those 3 go back into the box. And we just keep going on.
Okay.
It's a pretty simple game.
So how do I gain hearts?
You gain hearts by completing one of my sets.
One of your sets?
Yes, one of my sets. So this 3 and you know what? No, actually, I'm gonna go. This sucks. No matter how I cut it, this sucks. Oh man. I'll give you this 2. But because I did that, I can no longer use this 5, and I'm actually glad I explained this because now you get this 5 in addition to the other 3 dice you roll. Because there's nothing I could possibly do with that 5. So you're rolling
Does
4
this stay
dice.
at 5?
Nope, you're rolling 4 dice.
Okay.
Ooh.
That sucks because I have 1, 2, 3 here.
Yes. Now you can clear something out if you get the extra hearts. Because to clear out one of your rows, or if you had a black die, you could potentially put it there to bump it down to 0.
I don't have a black die though.
Yes.
I didn't grab one.
No, you did not. I mean, in the future.
Well, this sucks. What am I supposed to do with this? This could have been really good.
Yeah, if I wouldn't have blocked your tomatoes. The good news is, if you use a 6 on me, which you're gonna kind of have to,
Yeah, I've got that.
you will get 3 hearts. Now, what I'm checking real quick is to see if that scores immediately.
Oh.
Once the vine is completed, you can transfer the seed die onto the next open score slot on your player mat. I would assume it happens immediately then.
Well, I've already scored it, so there we go.
Well, I was looking at it more on my end because that also clears up another spot.
Well, it clears up the spot, which is great for you.
It is. It is. It is indeed good for me.
Because I have no choice but to play them
Well,
on
you can play one of the 4s on yourself.
Yeah.
And
This sucks. What?
would you like help?
What?
Would you
What
like...
am I doing wrong?
No. There's just something you can do that's a very good move.
What?
Okay. Well, some people don't like it when you tell them. You take that 4, you bump it up into a 5. You spend the 2 hearts. Bada boom,
To
you
do...
get 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh. Why can't I get that in my head that that's an option?
Well, I also played this in class with the kids like 4 or 5 times. So I've had more practice. Substantially more practice. They really like this game. They really... Oh my gosh. I had this one little girl who she thought she was going to lose, so she just started rolling black dice every time. It was like, you suck. So, yeah, you score your 3.
Okay. Okay.
So, in the end, that wasn't a terrible turn. You know,
No, it could have been a lot worse.
you could have. Alright, let's see. But you might want to consider getting a black dice and hoping you can get a 2 or a 1 to bump that down. Well, that's not bad. 1, 5, 4. Your turn. Oh, the other thing is, you'll notice on these 2 spots that once you get to that spot, you lose one of your tomatoes. You flip it over to green and you can just get rid of it. So eventually, at the very last round, you're only going to have 1 tomato to fill in, which will make it a little bit more difficult to roll what you need. That was lucky. So I'm pretty sure that immediately gets washed away because it hits 0.
So these just go back?
Yep. But you still have your 6 and your 4.
Wait.
I can use that 6, dear.
No. What? No.
It's a cooperative game.
Like, I'm gonna give it to you.
So I have completed this. That stinks. And we'll get... Oh, there you go, dear, because I love you. And I'll put a 4 there. And there's my go. So I need 3, 3, 6, 4, 5.
2, 2,
Ooh.
5. Am I allowed to go down to 0 hearts?
Yes. You thinking about bumping one of them to a 3?
Huh?
Yeah, makes sense. Otherwise, you're just going to lose the die, and I'm going to get to roll 5 of them. All right.
I think I would rather have here.
All right, so I'm rolling 4. That really is not ideal. All right, so I score on the 5, 3, 4, 5, 6. And sure, it's the only option we really got that's good. Okay, that's the only option I had.
2s and 4s. 2s and a 4. Because
It's not bad.
it's terrible. Well, I've got this.
So it's 4 points.
So there's that. So this can go in here.
No brainer. And then, yeah.
And then I've got
You're
a
eating
2.
one die. Because that can't go anywhere.
No, it doesn't, which is fine.
But it does put
I'm okay with that.
you in a... Oh, we're tied, actually. And I went first, so even if I were to finish it, you still get one more turn. And if you can get to this, you only get 1 victory point instead of 2.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I can't use all this. Oh, wait, I can't use the 6. Good. 3, 1, 1. Yeah, get those low pointers. Throw that 6 in there. All right, your turn. Oh,
6, 6,
that's
1. 6, 6.
And eat it.
Bummer.
You are not getting too lucky. Oh. Ooh.
That looks like a problem.
Well. Boom. 3 points. Oh, I screwed up. I cheated.
You're supposed to remove one.
So we'll say that I did that perhaps. But I didn't help you fill it in because you just put a 6 there, right?
Yes, I did just put
So
a
I
6
would not have gotten the points, but I would have
this
still
goes
had
back
to
in the
give
box.
you a 6. Wait, didn't I put a 4 too? I don't remember. We'll just... No, I think I would have given it to you. So you would have got the 6 points when you filled it in. So I think that should go to you. That makes the most sense because I would have had to have given you the 6. I wouldn't have had a choice.
Oh, okay.
Because if you can give someone a die, you have to give it. So that means that those go away, which means we're not so strapped on die. And then yours gets flipped over, so you only have 2 left. But I did complete my 3s, which means I am down to my last one. And I have these dice left over still. Wow, okay.
So how do I wipe this out?
You would have to get it down to 0, which you can do either by placing 2 black die on it, which is probably not in your best interest, or by paying 3 hearts, which is going to be really hard. You're not going to be able to come by hearts because if you complete this, it's game over.
Yeah.
So it's
So I'm rolling 5 dice.
yes, and that's there. That's stuck there pretty much. Whoa!
Son of a gun.
Oh no, you don't
You're
have the open
kidding
one.
Me.
That probably would have won you the game if you had an open one. 3 extras if you don't have any hearts. Oh no.
I can't do anything.
Well, you can do.
I mean, I can put a 5 and a 6 down.
Yeah, that's it. That's your move. And then I'm going to roll 6
I'm losing
dice.
this game. I'm going to lose this game.
12, 13, 16.
Whoops,
Right
that
now
was
you're
a
winning.
6. I'm going to lose this game.
It's going to come down to the last die roll, it looks like.
I'm giving you 3 dice.
You are, but I only can get 4s. So I have to get 4s. Anything else I have to give to you. If it works for you, like if I get a 3, doesn't matter that I don't want to give it to you. I have to give it to you. Wow, I've got 7 dice. But luckily, I can use a black die.
You just picked up.
Oh, my 4?
Yes.
Okay. This is unfortunate. This is very unfortunate. So, here you go, dear. Have yourself a... Wait, no. Yeah, have yourself a stupid 3. Which means you score 4 points, which means I get 2 hearts, which is good. Because that means that I can lose. But I can turn this into a 4 with my 2 hearts. Oh yeah, whatever 3 dice you want. So it looks like it might come down... Oh, I think you got me. I think you're going to get me no matter how I do it. Yep. Now, let me see if this immediately ends the game where you have to place the die. The game enters triggered. Nope. When it's completed, players completed. The remaining players for the round complete their turns. Oh, so you do. You do complete your turns. Which means you gotta give me one of those 4s.
No.
Yeah.
Why do I have to give you one of the 4s? My turn is done.
No, it's not.
It is.
The game is triggered when a 6th tomato of any player is completed. The remaining players for the round complete their turns. So you have to complete your turn.
I did complete my turn.
No, you still have dice left.
So?
You have to give one to me.
I don't see why I have to give you one.
I just read the rules. You have to complete your turn. And part of a turn
The
is...
remaining players have to complete their turns. You get to roll dice.
No, I don't. Because you're the last player. You were the last of the players. Because I started.
Oh.
Let me check. Any dice for which you cannot... Oh, wait. Place individual dice either on an empty tomato or add to any vine, including your opponent's already in play. You must place the dice if there is a spot for it.
Oh, fine. Hell of 4. I got 2 of them. You got the other one too?
I cannot take it here. That completes my last tomato. So
Well,
now
I mean, it just adds a 5th one to it.
we tally up the score, and I think you got me. 13, 16, 20.
I don't know. What's that? 10? I can't count when you're counting out loud. I'm weird that way.
I'm not counting.
You were saying something.
I was going to tell you the number.
Then say the number.
No, I didn't know.
Why are you
it's
doing
24.
this?
It's 24.
What was your number?
20.
Okay.
7.5 million.
No, it was not.
It's 20.
Stop.
Yep, you got
I
it.
thought I was gonna lose.
I didn't think you were going to lose.
I didn't think I was gonna finish.
All right. Well, there you go. That is a 2-player game of Diced Tomatoes. If it looks like it might be your cup of tea, be sure to click on that Game Crafter link down below. Also, if you're a sports channel, click on that little Amazon Associates link down below, or click the subscribe button down below. Honestly, if you click any of the buttons down below, I'm cool. Unless it's like somebody else's video. But there you go. If you enjoy what I'm doing, do all that stuff. And in the comments below, let me know, what do you want for Christmas? What do you want for Christmas, dear?
I don't. I didn't really think about it.
Okay.
Sleep,
Ooh, sleep.
which isn't gonna happen.
I'd like one of those flamethrowers that Elon Musk came out with for the Boring Company. Let me know in the comments below what you want. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.
Boring company.
Yeah, it's his side company.